Right, a very quick video, tell you what we're going to do on Friday. The first thing's a bit more mundane. On the email that this video link's attached to will be Wednesday's worked solutions. Mark your work, correct your work from Wednesday. I don't know how far you got through. I think I've attached answers for 1 to 11 just because I've done all the working in one go. You were doing questions from 1 to 10. Okay, but I didn't say you'd had to finish them, but look through what you've done and correct what you've done. Last Friday, we'd started looking at, what had we started looking at? We were looking at the empresses and the wizards and people and the towers of Hanoi. Thank you, King Richard. So, what I'd hoped you'd do would be maybe see how many moves it took to move one counter. So one counter was one move. So that's number of counters, discs, and that's number of moves. If it was two counters, you could go that one, that one, that one. Two counters was 3 moves. Hopefully you tried 3 and found it was 7. And at that point, you might have predicted what 4 was. Now, if you thought the gap was 2 and the gap was 4, so the next gap was 6, if you guessed 13, you'd find you were wrong, because when you worked out 4 correctly, so that's just trying to think of the method for this, that's +2, +4. What we actually find is it takes 15 moves. So if you predicted 2, 4, 6, 8, and you couldn't get 13, you might have tried and tried and tried and got 15, and spotted that the gap was 8. And at that point, you might spot 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 are also part of a sequence of numbers. These numbers are all numbers which are 2 to the power n. 2 to the power 1, 2 squared, 2 cubed, 2 to the 4, 2 to the 5. So 2, 4, 8, 16. One more than these numbers. If we put any number here, the answer was always 2 to the n take 1. It wasn't doubling each time. 1 does not double to give 3, does not double to give 7. It wasn't doubling each time. The gap was doubling each time. Maybe look at how you've explained that. So that was the answer to last week's problem. N discs, 2 to the n take 1. All right, so 64 discs in particular was 2 to the 64 take 1. Which is a huge number. And some of you asked, well, how long does it take to move a disc? I don't know, I've never been to Hanoi. So if you decided it took a second to move each one, you'd work out how many years that was. And it's an incredible amount of time. 2 to the 64 is a huge number. If you divide that by seconds in a minute, minutes in an hour, hours in a day, days in a year, you've still left with a number which is 2 to something huge. It becomes billions of years. Anyway, that was the answer to last week's work. We're only, let's just checking how far I am into the video. So we're only 4 minutes into a video. So 4 minutes has already gone. I want you to mark the work and correct your work. That could be another 10 minutes and thinking about it. We've been through part 2, today's work. Right, for the rest of the lesson, so we've got an answer if the discs are all the same colour, okay? And we had a rule. If we had 2 columns of discs with equal size discs in each column, but alternating colours, how many moves would it take to get a pole with one colour and a pole with one colour? And let's be completely specific. I don't mean all the blues where the biggest blue is and all the greens where the biggest green is. I mean that they're swapped, all the blues here, all the greens here. Now I happen to have drawn it with 4 discs on each one. What I want is the rule for if each colour has n discs, how many moves? Do you think we could have any tactics for doing that? Well, the king says, why not start with a small number of discs, get some results, and before you have a crazy number of discs, predict and test. What's that you're saying, King? Are you suggesting they may not be sure how to formalise an answer or how to present that? What I want is, in your books or a piece of paper, I don't mind how you present it and take a photograph of it, so it's not a poster, I just want to see you working. Can I see a table of results and your thoughts on how to get an nth term? Now, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to this one. I knew the other answer, I knew the Towers of Hanoi, but I don't know this one currently, so I can't give you any clues. So I'm not sure if there is a rule for it. What I do know is you can carefully work through different numbers of discs and come up with an answer. Okay, that's today's task. When you send me this, if you didn't send me last week's work, you could now, for instance, can you trot off and give me some space? Of course you can, thank you. You could now check your last week's results, see if you understand that as an expression for a rule, work through that. Now, that takes me nicely to 8 minutes. So, as a reminder, mark Wednesday's work, answers attached, not to the video, but attached to the email. Look at, correct your work. Last Friday's answer, look what you did last Friday. Today's work. Oh, the rule, never a bigger one on top of a smaller one. 2 the same ties on top of each other? Fine. One rule, never a bigger one on top of a smaller one. Okay, good luck with that. Email me evidence of work.